Welcome to my 2024 Backyard Garden Review. I previously shared a shorter video on this topic, but upon reflection, I realized there was so much more to explore. This time, I want to provide a more thorough and detailed reflection of my gardening journey throughout the year. I'll be showcasing the incredible transformation that took place month by month, highlighting what was successful, the challenges faced, and any noteworthy observations along the way. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or someone just starting out, I hope my reflections will inspire you to dig in and create something meaningful in your own space. Join me as we look back on a year of growth, abundance, and resilience. Let's celebrate the power of nature to surprise us, teach us, and bring beauty into our lives, one plant at a time. In Sydney, January is the height of summer, typically characterized by warm to hot weather with plenty of sunshine, occasional showers, and a few sweltering days. During this time, many of our fruit trees are heavy with fruit, though they are still in the process of growing and ripening. The summer heat provides the perfect environment for a bountiful harvest, but it also requires us to take measures to protect the crops from pests and the elements. One of our most prolific plants is the snake bean, which thrives thanks to the trellis we've set up for it. The vertical growth supported by the trellis improves air circulation, which in turn helps to prevent diseases and pests by keeping the beans off the ground. This simple yet effective method has led to an impressive yield, and it's a reminder of how thoughtful garden design can lead to healthier, more productive plants. When I planted a lychee tree in my backyard about 3 years ago, I had little expectation of success. Lychees are not typically associated with Sydney's climate, but since our family loved the fruit so much, I decided to give it a try anyway. To my surprise, the tree has thrived and is now producing fruit. Lychee fruits are resistant to insect attacks, but once they start ripening, netting is essential to protect them from birds. Among the many fruit trees in our garden, the honey gold mango stands out as my favorite Australian variety to grow. It's particularly well suited for smaller spaces, and its fruits are resistant to fruit flies and incredibly delicious, making it an excellent choice for backyard garden. Apple trees are another rewarding option. They yield delicious fruit far superior to what you'll find in stores, but growing them requires vigilance, especially when it comes to pests. Fruit flies, for example, target fruit once it reaches about 2 centimeters in size, so netting must be applied promptly. Later, the netting will also serve to protect the apples from birds once they ripen, ensuring a fruitful harvest. Our Fuyu persimmon tree, despite being relatively young, is fruiting exceptionally well. As the fruit grows larger, netting becomes necessary to shield it from birds, which are particularly attracted to this fruit even before it ripens. This year, our mango trees were laden with fruit, but a few days of strong winds caused many to fall prematurely. To make matters worse, a stretch of intense heat followed, leading to some mangoes cracking. Despite these challenges, there's still plenty of mangoes left on the trees, which is a testament to the resilience of the plants and the care they receive throughout the growing season. Our garden is not only home to fruit trees, but also to a variety of herbs and spices that are staples in our cooking. Vietnamese mint, fishwort, lemongrass, chives, turmeric, and galangal are just a few of the easy-to-grow plants that add fresh, organic flavors to our meals. By cultivating these herbs ourselves, we enjoy not only the health benefits of fresh produce, but also significant savings. February marks the final month of summer in Sydney. The fruits on many of our trees are either approaching maturity or have already ripened. This year, our Kensington Pride mangoes were the first to ripen, while other varieties are not ready for harvest yet. The fruits were wonderfully sweet and delicious. We enjoyed some ourselves, shared some with friends and family, but there was still plenty left over, so we decided to dehydrate some to enjoy later. This mango is unique because it was grown from a mono-embryonic seed of a Taiwanese variety called Jinhuang. However, it did not grow true to type and doesn't resemble or taste like the Jinhuang mango. Instead, it has developed its own distinct and delightful flavor. I find it tastes best when the fruit begins to soften, but not fully soft. At this stage, the flesh remains quite firm yet full of sweet, rich flavor. However, when it becomes fully ripe, the flesh becomes too soft for my liking, but some people would love it. The biggest fruits can weigh over 1 kilogram each. This is our 2E2 mango. This variety usually has very big fruits, each one weight about 1 kilogram. The fruits are very resistant to fruit flies. As you can see, its skin is so clean and free from any insect damage. This mango was selected through a breeding program in Australia. It was developed by crossing two mango varieties, the Kent and the Kensington Pride. The goal of this cross was to create a mango that combined the best qualities of both parent varieties, such as a sweet and rich flavor, reduced fiber, and good resistance to disease. It became popular due to its excellent eating qualities, appealing appearance, large size with a bright red blush, and its ability to thrive in Australia's climate. R2E2 has since gained recognition and popularity in various markets, especially for its juicy, firm texture and balanced taste. I always wanted to plant a moringa tree, but could not find any from the local nurseries. Until this year, I was able to get one from a small seller in the market. I planted it in this spot, but later on realized it was too close to the lychee tree, so I moved it to somewhere else. Moringa is often referred to as a superfood, due to its impressive nutritional profile. Our Pixie Crunch and Crimson Crisp apples, absolutely delicious, offering a flavor that far exceeds that of most commercial varieties. Yet it's surprising that they're not commercialized in Australia. I have 2 longan trees in my backyard, and I've noticed that many others in the neighborhood grow them in their front yards as well. From what I've seen, these trees almost always produce very few fruits, if any at all. This year, our 2 trees have yielded the most fruit ever, but it only amounts to less than 10 bunches between them. Since the trees are very tall, it's difficult to put netting over the fruit. I think I will either give them a hard prune or cut them down completely. Our lychee trees are doing wonderfully this year, and the freshly picked fruit tastes so much better than store-bought ones, which are often stored for far too long. For many years, I avoided planting lychees in Sydney, assuming the plant wouldn't survive the winter. I was completely wrong. Now, I'm really impressed with how well it's doing. It's a slow grower, but it consistently produces crops with minimal care. It has quickly become one of my favorite fruit trees. By mid-February, all of our mangoes started to ripen, and the fruits need to be harvested daily to avoid fruits over-ripening on the tree, which can attract fruit bats, birds, and insects. The Nam Dok Mai mango is one of the best Asian mango varieties to grow in Sydney, thriving in the local climate. It produces fruit almost year-round, with a break during the winter months. By late February, most of the fruit has been harvested, though some fruits may still be ripening, and branches that didn't bear fruit in the first round are now flowering. An interesting observation I've made is that, unlike many other plants, it's the common houseflies, not bees, that pollinate most of the mango flowers. Our kaffir lime tree is grown mainly for its aromatic leaves, which are commonly ground up with ingredients like garlic and lemongrass for Cambodian and Thai dishes. The tree also produces a lot of fruit. One interesting use for the fruit is cleaning. If you have a kettle with stubborn stains, simply place a few lime fruits in it, fill it with water, and bring it to a boil. The acid from the lime works wonders in cleaning the stains. The mandarins are growing larger, but it will be several more months before they are ready for harvest. Similarly, the pomelos are still young. These large fruits require a long time to mature and ripen. The Eureka lemon is currently both flowering and fruiting, though the fruits are still young. During this period, we can rely on Tahitian limes if needed, and once the lime's out of season, the Eureka lemons will be ready to harvest. This is katak, also known as sweet leaf. It is a leafy green plant native to Southeast Asia, including Cambodia, Thailand, and Malaysia. The plant is highly valued for its nutritious, edible leaves, which are used in a variety of dishes throughout the region. The leaves are rich in vitamins A, C, and K, as well as minerals like calcium, iron, and folate, making them a healthy addition to the diet. Katak grows well in Sydney climates and can be propagated from cuttings or from seed. If you allow the fruits to ripen and drop to the ground, many young plants will grow from the seeds. April is the middle of autumn in Sydney, with temperatures beginning to cool. Our pomelo fruits are growing larger, though they are still far from ripe. Similarly, our persimmons haven't yet matured, and we've had to net them to protect them from birds. Initially, I wasn't sure if the pomelo fruits would attract insects or birds, so I decided to safeguard a few. However, I've since realized that their thick skin makes them naturally resistant, so netting isn't necessary. Our mandarin fruits are starting to turn yellow, but they're not fully ripe yet. According to a mandarin farmer, these fruits need to ripen on the tree to develop their full sweetness and flavor. Picking them early and storing them won't improve their taste. By the end of April, our persimmons have ripened, and their taste is exceptional. All of our persimmons have been harvested, and their leaves have turned orange and beginning to fall. The second batch of Nam Dok My mangoes is growing larger, and the oranges are almost ripe. Chinese mustard greens thrive in autumn and winter, and this year I grew the largest mustard greens ever. One plant is enough for 2 dishes. I gave one to my cousin, and she was amazed by its size. The imperial mandarins are now ready for picking, but we only harvest what we need and leave the rest on the tree to ripen further and develop more sweetness. However, we must be careful not to leave them on the tree too long, as overripe fruit can deteriorate and attract pests. All fruits should be picked by the end of July to give the tree time to regain its strength for the next season. Our pomelos are now turning yellow. We thought they were ripe, so we picked one to taste. While it was flavorful, it wasn't as sweet as store-bought ones, which makes me think they haven't fully ripened yet. Nevertheless, my daughter loved it so much that she kept picking them one by one, even before they were fully ripe. The Cerurea pretty N pink has started to flower. The young flowers may not look impressive at first, but as they grow, they'll become more vibrant and colorful. June marks the beginning of winter in Sydney, and just in time, the Eureka lemon is ripening, ready to help boost our vitamin C intake for the chilly months ahead. Autumn and winter are my favorite seasons, as I can finally escape the hay fever and enjoy the cooler temperatures. To fend off colds and flu, I often drink a soothing mix of honey, lemon, or lime, and hot water, occasionally adding ginger for an extra boost of flavor and health benefits. The Cerurea pretty and pink flowers are now in full bloom, filling the garden with their exotic and stunning beauty. These flowers last for months, making them a favorite of mine to grow in pots. Their unique blooms offer an eye-catching display that adds both color and texture to any garden. Plus, they attract bees, butterflies, and other pollinators, supporting local ecosystems and encouraging biodiversity in the garden. Our Washington navel oranges are now ripe and ready to enjoy. We pick only what we need, leaving the rest on the tree to ripen further. Because we allow them to fully mature, these homegrown oranges taste far superior to store-bought fruits. This is my second attempt at growing Cerurea blushing bride. The first plant didn't survive the summer heat. These large Chinese mustard greens are perfect for making pickles or incorporating into a variety of Asian dishes. They have a distinctive bitterness that many people enjoy. This plant is known as jaboticaba, or the Brazilian grape tree. It's growing faster than I expected. I have 2 trees planted in this spot, and eventually, they'll serve as a natural privacy screen for my alfresco area. Our lychee tree is looking exceptionally healthy this winter, likely thanks to the milder frost conditions. An unidentified wild mushroom is growing beneath our bamboo plants. We are steering clear of these, as they may be toxic. Though the pretty and pink flowers have passed their peak, they're still stunning and continue to attract bees. Growing blueberries can be a bit challenging, as they require specific care to thrive. To grow them successfully, it's important to provide acidic, well-draining soil, and water them regularly with rainwater if possible, as tap water often has a high pH that can affect soil acidity. Using a fertilizer formulated for acid-loving plants, along with proper pruning and mulching, is also essential. Unfortunately, due to a lack of proper care, these fruits didn't grow as large as they should have. The Cerurea blushing bride thrives in cooler months, but sadly, it didn't survive the summer heat once again. It was planted in the same size pot as the pretty N pink, with the only difference being the soil. I used potting mix for the blushing bride and more garden soil for the pretty N pink. I suspect the potting mix dried out much quicker under the intense sun. These Eureka lemons are enormous, with thick skin that can be used in a variety of ways, such as zest, candied lemon peel, lemon marmalade, or even lemon peel tea. As winter fades and warmth starts to return in spring, the garden comes to life with colorful flowers. Apple trees, with their soft pink and white petals, brighten the landscape and hint at the sweet fruit of summer. The kaffir lime tree's small, star-like flowers fill the air with a fresh citrus scent. Persimmon branches, with their lantern-shaped blooms, glow softly against the sky. Lychee trees are blossoming and full of promise, while mango trees, proud and strong, open their delicate flowers, signaling the sweet summer ahead. Our autumn royal grapevine, planted 3 years ago, should be bearing fruit by now, yet it remains unproductive. Perhaps it's due to the shading from a tall mango tree nearby, or it could be a result of improper pruning. Lacking experience, I didn't train the vine properly when it was young. In contrast, our Thompson seedless grapevine, which has only been in the ground for 2 years, is already fruiting. October is the middle of spring in Sydney, and the flowers on many of our fruit trees begin to transform into small fruitlets. The once delicate blossoms give way to the early stages of fruit development, marking the beginning of the growing season. These tiny fruitlets gradually swell, signaling the promise of a bountiful harvest in the months to come. The mild temperatures and increased rainfall during this time create ideal conditions for this stage of growth. This is pea eggplant. Its fruits resemble miniature eggplants or green peas. It has a bitter taste and is commonly used in Southeast Asian, African, and Caribbean cuisines. Pea eggplants are typically featured in curries, stews, stir-fries, and pickles, where their unique flavor adds a distinctive bite. Our multi-grafted apple trees fruit very well because they combine different apple varieties on one tree, ensuring better pollination. For home gardeners with limited space, these trees are ideal because they let you grow several types of apples in a single tree, maximizing space and providing a diverse harvest. This year, our Chokanan mango is fruiting much earlier and much better than any other mango varieties, and I think it will be the first variety to ripen. Our lychee Wai-chi is in full bloom, and if we examine it closely we can see that there are many different insects pollinating these flowers. This fruit tree has been fruiting so well, so I decided to plant another lychee variety called Kwai Mai Pink. Unfortunately, it died a few months later. There could be several reasons for its death, but I suspect it was caused by either waterlogging or a heat wave. Learning is a never-ending process. Costly mistakes in the garden can teach us a lot about patience, planning, and the importance of understanding the needs of plants. When we mess up, whether by overwatering, planting at the wrong time, neglecting proper soil preparation, or using the wrong mulch, it often highlights the nuances we might overlook in our excitement or rush. The leaves of the Nam Dok My mango tree had shielded a few mangoes from the frost, keeping them hidden from sight throughout the winter. It wasn't until I began pruning the branches that I discovered the ripe fruit, nestled among the foliage. They taste absolutely delicious. With each nourishing rainfall and the steady warmth of the sun, The fruit trees and plants are thriving. Their trunks and branches grow sturdier, reaching out further, while their leaves become lush and vibrant. The fruits, still not quite ripe, continue to swell, their skins gradually thickening and color deepening as they soak in the perfect balance of water and sunlight. It's as if the earth itself is gently coaxing them to reach their fullest potential, promising a harvest that's just around the corner. November marks the final month of spring, and as the weather warms, the fruits on our trees begin to grow larger. It's an exciting time, but it also requires extra attention. The rising temperatures bring a higher risk of pests and diseases, which can harm our crops. Regular monitoring and care are vital to protect the developing fruit and ensure a healthy harvest. Pruning is an essential task in growing fruit trees. By removing dead, diseased, or overcrowded branches, you help the tree focus its energy on healthy growth, resulting in a stronger and more productive plant. In our backyard, we are growing 4 varieties of grapes. The Thompson seedless is fruiting for the very first time 2 years after planting, and I couldn't be more excited, as this is my first time growing grapes. The seedless Sun Muscat, planted at the same time as the Thompson seedless, is also bearing fruit. However, I later discovered that it actually has seeds, which means there was a mix-up with the label. What I thought was a seedless Sun Muscat turned out to be an unknown variety. I am so disappointed as it has taken 2 years to reach this stage. Sunlight is essential for mango trees to fruit well. This is clear on one of our trees. The shaded areas produced little fruit, while the parts that received more sunlight are thriving with a bountiful crop. As the first day of summer arrived, we were blessed by the gentle, nurturing rainfalls. Rainwater, pure and untainted, is often called the nectar of life for plants and fruit trees. Unlike tap water, it's free from chemicals and salts, making it easier for roots to absorb the essential nutrients they need. The soft, mineral-rich rain nourishes our plants, acting as a life-giving elixir. Under these ideal conditions, our fruit trees thrive, our flowers bloom with vibrant color, and our vegetables grow lush and healthy. Under the cool, gentle rain, young fruits on our trees grew swiftly, their delicate forms swelling with each drop. The rain nourished the soil, and the trees, grateful for the moisture, fed the growing fruits with the life-giving energy they needed. But nature can also be harsh. A few days of intense heat scorched many of our fruits, and soon after, strong winds knocked many more to the ground. Fruit flies also took advantage of more vulnerable varieties, like the Q Savoy mangoes, causing further damage. Despite these challenges, our fruit trees have shown remarkable resilience. A large portion of the fruits remains undamaged. Australian mango varieties are the easiest and best suited to Sydney's climate due to their adaptation to warm, subtropical conditions. Varieties like Kensington Pride and R2E2 are naturally resilient to Sydney's summer heat and humidity, allowing them to flourish with minimal care. As the new year approaches, we are optimistic that most of our fruits will reach full maturity. We can begin picking some now, letting them ripen off the tree, while others can continue ripening on the branches. By harvesting just a few at a time, we can savor fresh, delicious fruits for many months.